Since the 2022 Beijing Winter Games, China's winter sports sector has experienced rapid growth.
Never thought I would be skiing in Shenzhen, a city that never sees snow.
The booming popularity of winter sports has created a wave of new jobs in the industry. One example.
Over the past decade, winter sports have taken China by storm. Since 2015, participation has surged from 12 million to over 300 million people. Even in southern cities, where natural snowfall is rare, indoor snow parks are springing up, fueling a nationwide winter sports boom. This rapid growth has been further driven by major international events, most notably the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. And now, the Asian Winter Games in the northeastern city of Harbin offer another opportunity to witness this momentum firsthand. In this week's episode of Deep Dive, my colleagues Guang and Tianyu join us from the capital of Heilongjiang province, known as the Ice City. They'll share their on-the-ground insights from the Games, explore how this event is shaping the future of winter sports in China and beyond, and discuss what it means for the country's burgeoning ice and snow economy. It's Thursday, February 13th. Guang and Tianyu, how are you enjoying the winter time in Harbin? The city must be quite different for the Asian Winter Games this year.
Well, yeah, it's been 2 freezing cold weeks in Harbin with temperatures dropping as low as minus 25 degrees Celsius on some days. Such extreme weather isn't ideal for us reporters. It's perfect for the ice and snow sculptures that are scattered across the city, especially during the Winter Games. As you walk through the streets, you will easily spot mascots carved into ice sculptures, adding to a festive atmosphere to the city. And Harbin is no stranger actually to hosting major winter events. The city previously hosted the Asian Winter Games back in 1996. So it was well prepared in terms of infrastructure, broadcasting, volunteering, and transportation. This experience proved invaluable, especially considering Harbin had just over 1 year to prepare after securing the hosting rights. For the organizers, it was an urgent and demanding task, but they rose to the occasion and delivered an exceptional experience for all participants. One example of their resourcefulness is the curling venue, which was transformed from a local primary school. By taking advantage of the students' winter holiday, the organizers seamlessly converted the school into a fully functional curling arena.
That's perfect.
As if it had been built specifically for the event. This approach not only showcased Harbin's ability to maximize existing resources, but also highlighted its commitment to sustainability in hosting the Games. And the popularity of winter sports in the city is quite obvious. I would say it's still growing with the hosting of the Games. Almost all the venues have been packed with spectators, even its weekday. Harbin's role as a leader in winter sports development in China is undeniable. As many people would know, this year, 28 of the 170 athletes on Team China actually from Harbin, underscoring the city's contribution to the nation's winter sports talent pool. Reports also revealed that over 57% of people in Heilongjiang province, where Harbin is located, have participated in winter sports, the highest rates in China. This means that nearly 1 in 2 people in the region has engaged in winter sports. So it solidified Harbin's status as a winter sports hub in the country. It's no surprise then that Harbin was chosen to host the Games. Its rich history, infrastructure, and the deep-rooted passion for winter sports make it, I guess, the ideal location for such events.
Very freezing temperatures, but at the same time, very hot games that are taking place in Harbin. Does it feel different to be at Harbin and watch the Games personally?
Definitely, yes. We've been reporting on the Asian Winter Games, and it has been an exhilarating experience, especially as a sports journalist. I think the most exciting moment for me so far must be watching a short track speed skating race live for the first time. I mean, the energy in the arena was contagious, with the crowd erupting every time when a skater made a bold move or overtook an opponent. And it was particularly thrilling when the name of Chinese star skater Lin Xiaojun echoed throughout the venue as fans cheered for his impressive maneuvers. And there's something special about being there in person because the anticipation, the intensity of each lap, and the collective excitement of the spectators is just make everything different. It's one thing to watch on TV, but experiencing the live atmosphere with passionate fans is a whole different level of engagement. And yeah, we've had the privilege of being in the middle of it, feeling the adrenaline rush along the crowd. It's truly unforgettable, I would say.
Yeah, apart from you two, the city of Harbin is also currently packed with international athletes and also international journalists. And many of them might be visiting Harbin for the very first time of their lives. And how are they enjoying their time in this northeastern city of China?
Yeah, we had the chance to speak to several athletes and coaches, and one of the first words they used to describe Harbin was, "It's so big." For many, Harbin isn't one of the typical Chinese cities that come to mind when thinking of popular destinations in China. So they were genuinely surprised to discover that this is relatively lesser known city, but is in fact a sprawling metropolis. One Thai ice hockey player we interviewed particularly praised Harbin's road conditions. He said no matter where he went, the roads were always smooth and well maintained.
Okay.
He and some of his teammates also visited Harbin's iconic Ice and Snow Festival, a wonderland filled with intricate ice sculptures and majestic ice castles. He admitted that he initially hesitated to go because of the freezing temperatures, but once he stepped into the park, he was completely stunned. He even felt sorry for those who chose to stay in the hotel as the experience was, as he said, unique. And a Singaporean skater also raved about the stunning ice sculptures, saying she had never seen anything like it before, and really which girl could resist allure of sparkling crystal-like creations. And as athletes, they adhere to strict diets before and during competitions, so they weren't able to fully indulge in the local cuisine. However, many mentioned that they'd love to return to Harbin as tourists someday in the future to properly explore the city and savor its culinary delights.
On top of the athletes and the journalists that came here for the games, this Asian Winter Games happened to coincide with the time of this Chinese New Year of the Snake. And there were 12 million visitors that came to Harbin for this festival. I'm wondering, have you encountered any people who traveled to Harbin just specifically for the Winter Games? And is it difficult for the venues to handle this large influx of travelers into Harbin during this time?
Well, yes, we've met a lot of visitors who came especially just for the Asian Winter Games. And yeah, it's fascinating to meet people who are not just tourists, but also sports enthusiasts coming from different places. Some even came from neighboring countries like Japan and South Korea, who are just eager to support their athletes and just witness the competitions firsthand. The atmosphere, I've got to say, has been electric, especially in venues like the short track speed skating rink, where the crowd's enthusiasm can be sensed in every corner. Fans here don't just cheer, they get deeply involved, reacting to every move with a complete enthusiasm. Whether it's watching a dramatic comeback or just a flawless performance, the spectators have been incredibly vocal. In fact, I've also found myself joining the cheers even as a journalist. It's not just about the competition, it's about the shared experience of witnessing something special. So I think tournaments like this have just brought people together, creating a collective energy that transcends national borders.
Winter sports have really taken off in China these years. For one thing, the number of people that enjoy winter sports had grown from 12 million to over 300 million people just within 10 years. And as reporters that are covering this ongoing international winter sports event in Harbin, are you witnessing any trends in the demographics of the people that are going there to Harbin? I mean, there are mostly younger people that are driving this growth of winter sports, and other people from the southern parts of China that are also a big fan of winter sports.
I would say young people are totally driving this growth. Stats already show that over half of winter sports participants in the country, in China, are between 27 and 39 years old. Actually, when Tianyu and I went to Yabuli, this co-host town for the Asian Winter Games, we checked out some local hotels and the bed and breakfasts, and almost everyone we met was there to ski. Yabuli's got one of the best ski resorts in China, and it was packed with young couples and families teaching their kids to hit the slopes. It totally matched what the stats are saying. What's really cool is that a lot of skiers we met were from southern China, where snow is pretty much non-existent, I would say. And we talked to two families, one from Shenzhen and one from Shanghai, and they'd traveled all the way up north just to ski. Apparently, a bunch of southern cities have started building indoor ski resorts using ice-making tech. Like I know Chengdu has got a massive one. But let's be real, nothing beats skiing on actual snow mountains. That's why more and more southerners are heading to places like Heilongjiang, Xinjiang, and Hebei, which have some of the best ski resorts in the country. So it's no wonder the Northeast has become such a hotspot for tourism lately.
Yeah, just like you mentioned, winter sports are hot, and that's attracted more southern cities from warm regions in China to also invest in developing winter sports facilities. And how is Harbin going to stay ahead in this growing competition?
Well, I think Harbin's strength lies not only just in infrastructure, but also in its deep-rooted tradition of winter sports. As a city that has embraced winter for decades, Harbin has built an exceptional network of training facilities and ice rinks that just attract athletes from all over the world. I would say, unlike southern cities where winter sports are kind of newer and still developing, Harbin has the advantage of both natural winter conditions and a history of hosting winter-related events like the world-famous Harbin Ice Festival. I think this legacy allows Harbin to attract top-tier athletes and also spectators who are looking for a city with a genuine winter sports culture. Northern cities like Chongli and Zhangjiakou, which are also investing heavily in their winter sports infrastructure for events like the 2022 Winter Olympics, they are also making great strides, but they still have some catching up to do in terms of creating a winter sports identity, because Harbin's expertise in ice hockey, short track, speed skating, and figure skating gives it a kind of distinct edge, making it a natural hub for winter sports in China. Other cities, however, are differentiating themselves by focusing on things like ski resorts and outdoor adventure experiences, which also are unique to their landscapes.
And now with cities racing each other to grab a share in this growing winter sports market, what do you guys make of China's potential to become a global leader in winter sports? And I'm talking about both in terms of competitive success in the arenas as well as the industrial influence.
Well, honestly, China has already killed it in winter sports when it comes to the athletes. They smashed it at the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics, finishing top of the medal table. And that's the biggest stage in winter sports, right? And China has always been strong in skating, especially in short track. And lately, they've been making waves in speed skating as well, which used to be totally dominated by Europeans. And on the snow side, they've got some serious talent coming through, especially in freestyle skiing and snowboarding. I mean, stars like Gu Ailin, Su Yiming, and Xu Mengtao have become huge inspirations for kids all over the country. And it's paying off. Just look at the snowboarder Wang Ziyang, who just won the X Games title a few months back. Chinese athletes are clearly on the rise, and it's pretty exciting to watch. But when you zoom out and look at China's role in the winter sports industry, it's quite a different story. They are not quite a global leader yet, I would say. Stuff like winter sports gear and professional venue standards are still catching up. That said, there's a ton of potential. More and more people are getting into winter sports, as we talked about, which means there's a growing market for all the gear and equipment. And plus, hosting big events like the Winter Olympics brings all these advanced technologies like next level ice and snow making tech, which we already saw in Beijing. So the pieces are definitely falling into places.
Very bright future and a lot to look forward to. And the last question, I know you're going to take it, Tianyu. As a reporter covering the Asian Winter Games in Harbin this year, which marks another key milestone in the development of the winter sports in China, how is this game setting China on the path to achieving that bright future of winter sports?
Yeah, I would say the games in Harbin this year are pivotal for China's broader ambitions in the winter sports arena, because not only do they showcase China's growing capabilities in organizing large-scale international winter events, but they also kind of align with the country's long-term goal of making winter sports a more integral part of its sporting culture. Because the games provide a platform for athletes from across Asia to compete and refine their skills. They're learning from each other, so they're helping to elevate the standards of winter sports in the total region. And for China, I think is not just about hosting an event, it's about inspiring a new generation of athletes and fans. Because with China's heavy investments in winter sports, ranging from grassroots initiatives to elite level training programs, Harbin is just the perfect stage for highlighting this shift, because the games will inspire more young people to take up winter sports, and the increased media coverage just helps to fuel the country's growing popularity in sports like skiing, ice hockey, and speed skating. Also, the global spotlight on Harbin just underscores China's dedication to being a leader in this arena.
And sure, we know, following the reporting of the Asian Winter Games, there's potentially 2 more fans of the winter sports fan group in China. Thank you very much for your time, Tianyu and Guang.
Thank you for having us.
Chinese athletes have shattered records at this year's Asian Winter Games, but this event is about more than just a competition. It's a celebration of winter sports on a global stage. A record-breaking 1,300 athletes are competing this year, with nations like Saudi Arabia and Cambodia making their historic debut. Additionally, 31% of the featured events are appearing in the Asian Winter Games for the first time, reflecting the growing diversity and innovation in the world of winter sports. China isn't just bringing winter sports into millions of households across the country, it's helping promote them worldwide. From Harbin to the world, the Asian Winter Games stand as a testament to how far winter sports have come and how much further they can go. That brings us to the end of this episode of Deep Dive. If you enjoyed what you just heard, don't forget to follow us on your podcast platforms. Just search for Deep Dive. You can also leave a comment to let us know what you want to learn about China and beyond. This episode is brought to you by me, Li Yunqi, and my colleagues Zhang Zhang and Qi Zhi. Special thanks to CGTN Radio reporter Guang and Tianyu. I'll see you in the next one.